Hi, Sean here again. When I meet business owners, a frequent conversation starter I have often goes along the lines of, so how well is business going at the moment? And 99 times out of 100, the answer is great. So that obviously, as a coach, leads me to the next question. I ask something along the lines of, so what do you need to work on now in order to get even further improvement on the bottom line results? And I would say at least 75% of the time, the answer is sales and marketing. Invariably, over some time, if I manage to get to know the people better, I either find that there's a whole bunch of problems in the business, or else the results that they're getting are not bad, but they're just nowhere along the lines of where they should be according to the potential of the business or what they had forecast sometime in the beginning. So we've been through the ADD model. And the nice thing about the ADD model is it breaks the business down into distinguishable pieces of the business, so we know what to work on. One of the shortcomings we have with the ADD model, it doesn't really give you any help in terms of prioritization of where you should be working in your business next. When managing a business as a business owner, or even if you're an employee in a business, it's critically important to understand that you are in fact working in the areas of the business that deliver the best bang for the buck. This is just logical, but seldom is it very clear what are the areas that are the most important that will deliver you the best short-term and long-term results. Sometimes I like to think of business as this juggler here. There are many balls in which you should be juggling. Sometimes the one right in front of you is the most important one, a critical one, but in terms of the bigger picture, it's often not. The business environment is dynamic, and there's definitely no cookie cutter method that can be used to ensure business success. If there was, then success would be solely dependent on your discipline to execute according to the process or business plan. And getting onto that is one of my complaints I have with business plans in general. Generally, they are very useful exercises in terms of when you're doing them. It really gets you to think strategically about the business, stakeholders, your opposition, the environments, etc. But a formal business strategy is more important in my mind, and that it is a perpetual understanding of how a great business is made, how you differentiate yourself in the marketplace, and that should lead down to obviously having certain KPIs, which will then be expanded out in terms of your 90-day plans and sprint challenges. I also like to differentiate, and this is talking about priorities now in your business, the difference between what I call startups. And a startup is any business that is relatively young, still trying to go through its norming and forming stage. And the priority ladder that I see for startups is really trying to get some sales on or immediately off the ground, because generally you want to have proof of concept of what you're doing. Cash flow can often be quite tight. So working on the traction side of the business, if you think back to the ADD model, working the traction side of the business is most important. Then on the delivery, then on the design, then on the systems, and then on the scalability of the business. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you compare that, and there's only really a slight difference, but it's an area of focus. If you think of a more mature business, an established business, the priorities change in that we really want to start analyzing the design side of the business right from an early stage, then moving on to the delivery, and thereafter ramping up the traction. And so this is where the problems I find most businesses I talk to, they immediately jump into the track. They start working in the sales and marketing, meanwhile they've got big holes in the ship, and a lot of the efforts that they're putting into the sales and marketing is just bleeding outside the bottom. We really do need to go down and sort out the design side of your business, the financials in particular, then work on the delivery so we know we can execute on the outcome of the sales and marketing, or the track side of the business. So this really just leads you at this point to just really to think about where you are in your business and what would your priority be. Would it be either of those that I've given, or would it be something else? In terms of a coaching session, this is what we want to talk about next.